Yeah, what guys? What's up there guys? How is it going right there? In this video I'll be showing you how to implement DNS on Windows Server 2016. I will be keeping this so basic as there are more to what there are more to it. I will only show you how you can implement DNS. I already had the roles and features of DNS, and I would like to show you on this our next video. We have been doing this so far. We have done a lot, carry out a lot of tasks on Windows Server 2016 and this 2021. We've set the environment, like setting up the virtual machine, as well as setting up the server, adding the servers into the domain controller, setting up the DHCP, and so many adding rules and features. We have gone so far, and now this is what the DNS. So if you are just joining this program, you should kindly click on the subscribe button and comment below to let me know your concern, and please endeavor to share for those who for people to benefit. Now there's another thing I would like to say, like if you like one-on-one classes, you would like to do in-depth, because there are some things I won't be able to show you about. If you are having classes together, I will be able to introduce and tell you how it works and show you deeply how you can go deeply in each topics. Anyway, we still going deeper, we still have a long way to go. So if you would like to join or one-on-one classes, please kindly use the contact us link below to let us know, and we'll give you more intel. So guys, well done. Now in this video, as I said earlier on, I'll be showing you on how you can set up the DNS. I'll keep it so simple in this video. Keep it so simple. Now what you're going to do is click on tools. Also click on tools, click on DNS. Okay, let me have my network on first. So click on DNS. So also click on DNS. The DNS servers pop-ups. Okay, so now what we are going to do now is you create a DNS. So before I go further, I would like to explain what DNS is. So I would like to ask you, what is DNS? It simply means domain name system. DNS is what lets users connect to website using a domain name instead of an IP address. Learn how this works. Now, the domain name system is the phone book of the internet. Women access information online through domain name, like AIinfotech.com or ESPN.com. Now, web browser interacts through internet protocol addresses, which is that is the IP addresses, and DNS translate domain name to IP address. Can you say it works now? Now, what does DNS do here is it translate the domain name, the AIinfotech.com into an IP address, so that browser can load internet resources. So without DNS, there is no way you'll be able to convert your client to the internet resources. Now, each devices connected to the internet has a unique IP addresses, which other machines use it to find devices. DNS server eliminate the need for human to memorize IP address, such as 192.168.1.1 in IPv4 now, or more complex newer alphabet code like what IPv6 that has a long memory keys. Okay, now how does the DNS work? The process of DNS resolution involve converting a host name such as what AIinfotech.com into a computer-friendly IP address, such as what such as 192.168.10.2. An IP address is given to each device on the internet, and that addresses is what is necessary to find the appropriate internet devices. Like a street address is used to find a particular home. Mind you, when a user wants to load a web page, a translation must occur between what a user type into the web browser and the machine friendly address necessary to locate the web browser that you're trying to contact. In order for you to understand, my friend, understand the process behind DNS resolution, it is important to learn about the different address components a DNS query must pass between. For the web browser, the DNS lookups occur behind the scene and requires no interaction from the user's computer apart from the initial request. Now, my friend, I would like to move further. Now, there are four DNS servers involved in loading a web page. Now we have a DNS recursor. DNS recursor. The DNS recursor can be thought of as a librarian who is asked to go find a particular book somewhere in the library. The DNS resources is the recursor is a server designed to receive queries from client machines through applications such as web browser. Typically, the recursor is then responsible for making additional requests in order to satisfy the client's query. So now we also have what we call the root name server. The root name server is the first steps in translating solving human readable host name into an IP address. Now it can be thought of like an index in a library that points to a different rack of books. Wow, hence the work of a root server. Now typically it serves as a reference to other more specific location. Now we have what they call the tier or the name server. The top level domain server can be thought of as a specific rack of book in the library. This name server is the next step in the research for a specific IP address, and it hosts the last portion of a host name. Now we have the authoritative name server. This final name server can be thought of as a directory on a rack of book in which a specific name can be translated into its definition. The authoritative name server is the last stop to the name server query. If the authoritative name server has access to the requested record, it will return the IP address for the requested host name back to the DNS requester, the librarian that made the initial requests. Now, my friend, this is what the difference between the different type of DNS that we have. So now you'll be thinking, what is the difference between the authoritative DNS server and the recursive DNS server? Both concepts refer to server of server that are integral to the DNS infrastructure, but each perform a different role and lives in different locations inside the pipeline of a DNS query. One way to think about the difference is the recursive server is at the beginning of the DNS query, and the authoritative name is at the end. Now, the recursive DNS server is the computer that responds to the recursive request from a client and takes the time to track down the DNS record. It does this by making a series of requests until it reaches the authoritative DNS name server. For the request to record or timeout or return an error if no record is found. Luckily, recursive DNS resolver do not always need to make multiple requests in order to track down the record needed to respond to the client. Now, caching is a data persistent process that helps short circuit the necessary request by serving the requested resources record earlier in the DNS record. Now, we would like to what to open your eye to some things on what in DNS. Now we have so many content to introduce in this program, but due to the limit of the video we're making, we like to keep it minimal. So how do we implement the DNS on the what on the on the server? Now there are ways you can do this is by using this tool, which I've clicked on earlier on, the the DNS manager. Now what you do understand is that DNS translates the name server into into an IP address, so that clients can be able to connect to the web browser. Now DNS is the one that translates your computer name into an IP address as an identifier. So they really work hand in hand. It's just like an network identifier. Like an IP address is is the IP address that translates you, that identify you on the network. It's such as as DNS is identifying identifying the computer or the name server in in the internet, and on the internet. Now I would like to show you how this works, so that you can understand more of what I am saying. So I will just keep this basic as I've said earlier on. So what do we do? I have my server here, and there is no item to show the view. Okay, we have the forward lookup zone and the reverse lookup zone. The forward lookup zone is the one that translates the host name into an IP address, and the reverse lookup zone is the one that translates the what the the IP address into into the host name. And this is done by by implementing it first. You have to first implement this. Now what you are going to do is configure a DNS server. So what we are going to do now is configure a DNS server. Click on DNS server, then we come to the configure a DNS server wizard. Click on next. Now create a forward lookup zone recommended for small network. This server is authoritative for DNS name of the local resource, but forward all other queries to an ISP or the DNS server. This wizard will configure the root, but not create a reverse lookup. Now create a forward reverse lookup zone recommended for large network. This server can be authoritative for forward and reverse lookup zone. It can be configured to perform recursive resolution, like I've explained earlier on in this video. Forward queries to other DNS servers on both. The wizard will configure the root int. Now we have the configure root int only, recommend for advanced user only. This wizard will configure the root int only. You can later configure forward, reverse lookup zone, and forwarder. Now I'll keep it basic by small reps, due to the fact that this is for training purposes. So I'll keep it minimal. If you like to know more, use the description below, and let's discuss on how we can have a one-on-one training and soon. Thank you. Now we click this next. Now, which DNS server maintain your primary forward lookup zone? This server maintain the zone. The wizard will help you create a primary forward lookup zone. Now, an ISP maintain the zone. No, I don't have an ISP maintaining it. This server will maintain it. Now, primarily. Now, I will I'll put it technical zone. Technical. Now you allow only secure dynamic updates recommended for Active Directory. This option is available only for Active Directory integrated zone. So I'll click on this, allow, then Okay, let me use this. Let me use this one. I think this is more functional. No, it should not forward crazy. If this server is not configured to use forwarder, it can still be served name using root name. Let's use this. The string header is neither. Let's use this. Okay, now let me check my IP address. The IP address of this network. I think that will also resolve this. Can you resolve this? CMD. So the IP address is 10. I think I will copy this and I'll put it in it. Okay, so now once that has been done, then we click on next. Okay, now it checks it successfully. Now completing the configuration a DNS server wizard. You have successfully completed the configure a DNS server wizard. When you click finish, the forward settings will be saved. DNS server to configure, server 2 forward local technical. So we've created DNS in this video. Configure the host that will be used. This DNS server to point to the DNS server for the new resolution, and then verify new resolution using NS record. If you update a new primary zone, add resources record to it for the host whose name needs to be solved by the DNS server. So we've done this, and we are ending up on this video. So we've already created a DNS DNS name to our server. Now, so can we see mds.msd cs.technical.local. So it's running successfully in the active directory. So kindly share for people to want to benefit from it, and if you've not subscribed, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you will be the first person. Click on the notification bell so that you can be the first person to see my next video that I will be introducing on how to add a DNS policy to your DNS. Now this is running successfully, and this is the DNS that you have created successfully. Thank you for taking your time to watch my video. Stay blessed.